Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for Season 1 of the Netflix show Mindhunter. Now the film is executive produced by David Fincher and Charlize Theron, and some of the episodes are also directed by David Finch as well as others. And the show stars Jonathan Groff as Holden Ford, Holt McCallany as Bill Trench, and Anna Torv as Dr. Wendy Carr. Now this show, season 1, focuses on the FBI in the 1970s, 1977 to be more specific, and essentially is the birth of FBI profiling. Now it's based on a book, based on real events from what I can understand, and the two agents, Bill Trench and Holden Ford, are based on real FBI agents, although the names have been changed, I believe. Now, essentially, at the start of this season 1, Holden Ford is like a hostage negotiator. He kind of fails at a crime scene, and he teaches hostage negotiations and things like that as well. And it gets him to thinking. He overhears like another lecture. And he realises basically that the FBI are falling behind in regards to their behavioural science unit and understanding this new race of criminals. It was the age of the serial killer in the 70s and things like that. And basically they just weren't understanding criminals anymore and getting into their psyche and being able to predict. So he teams up with Bill Trench, who is a veteran FBI agent who basically travels up and down the country teaching FBI techniques to local police forces. And that job gives him, if you like, quite a lot of freedom. So him and Holden team up, Bill Trench, Holden Ford team up, and they are basically told, right, you've got to drive up and down the country still, deliver these lessons, but basically on your spare time, on a part-time basis, we will allow you to interview serial killers to basically try and understand why they did what they did, and hopefully it will help us develop new techniques and profiling techniques to maybe understand them a little bit better. But the superiors don't take it seriously. They don't think there's really anything in it. As you can imagine, it starts to escalate. They start getting some results. They start interviewing some high-profile serial killers. It gathers the attention of their superiors. They bring somebody on board, played by Anna Torv, Dr. Wendy Carr, who's a eminent psychiatrist, I think, something like that. They bring her on board, she joins the team, and the team continues to grow and get more and more successful. They are given lots of funding, surprisingly, to do this, and they continue to move this department forward. However, interestingly here, I mean, they're all juggling their own lives. Holden Ford's got a girlfriend, Bill Tench has got wife and a son who seems to be having some difficulties. They've all got their own personal lives. Anna Torv has uprooted and moved to Quantico to dedicate herself to this team, leaving her relationship behind. So they've all got these dynamics, all these relationships going on as well. And Holden and Bill Tench, they become quite good friends and colleagues, but as the season goes on, Holden kind of becomes increasingly obsessed, overconfident, arrogant in regards to these techniques they're developing, almost experimenting with them, because at the same time as interviewing serial killers, they are helping the local police force solve a series of murders by using some of these techniques that they are learning on the fly, with varying degrees of success. Now in Holden's eyes it's always a success, but in his colleagues' eyes they see some of the techniques that he is using are overly experimental, and have no place in the FBI, and some of his terminology and some of the language that he uses really challenges people's perceptions of what the FBI is and what it should be doing. And Holden is fully committed and fully dedicated. However, others on the team believe in what they're doing, but they don't necessarily agree with the direction that Holden is going with his interview techniques and things like that. And so a bit of a divide starts being created amongst the characters as the season goes on. Brilliant, brilliant show. I knew of this show on Netflix. I'd heard some good things about it. I just never got around to watching it, and we kind of one night we just sort of thought, why don't we give it a go? It sounds an interesting show. So we started watching it, and then we got pretty hooked fairly quickly within the first 2 or 3 episodes. The performances are all fantastic here. I mean, David Fincher, we know his interest in this subject matter with films like Zodiac and Seven and things like that. He's obviously got a real interest in this subject matter, and you can tell here with this. And what's fascinating is because it's based on real events. Even the interview scenes when they're interviewing these famous serial killers are based on the actual real interviews that took place, sometimes word for word as well, is my understanding. And they're just mesmerising, these interviews that they have with these serial killers. You know, you're just hooked. And some of the things they say, not just the serial killers, but Holden especially, you know what I mean, just to get them to relax and things like that. They'll give them gifts and all this kind of stuff, or he'll talk to them in like their language and get them to relax, and it's pretty intense stuff, some of it. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's got this real authenticity about it. There's real 70s vibe about it, and it also gets you to question your own morals and things like that. You know, there's a situation where there's a school principal that brings Holden on board to talk to the pupils about what he does, and it's like a junior school, primary school. I'm not sure what you call them in America, and he's got this weird habit where he likes to tickle the feet of the pupils as a I don't know. He tickles the feet and then he gives them a bit of money. Now you can imagine these days, you know, but in the 70s, you know, he didn't see himself as doing anything wrong. He was like helping the students through love and affection and things like that, as he called it. But it raises it in the show. They cover it really well, and it raises this moral question of, you know, ultimately, is this teacher right or is Holden right to challenge it? And it very fascinating how they handle it, and a really fascinating and entertaining show that I really enjoyed my time with season 1. Really looking forward to starting season 2 probably tonight. I know there's no more after season 2, but there are whispers that they're going to be doing a season 3 soon, so fingers crossed that we do get a season 3. But yeah, definitely, if it's one of those shows that you're not sure about checking out, definitely check out Mindhunter. For me, it's a really strong show, some brilliant performances, very authentic and edge of the seat stuff. I'm going to give it a very strong 9 out of 10. So thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you like this review for season 1 of Mindhunter. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. And thank you very much for watching, everybody. I will be back with plenty more content on the channel very soon.